Welcome back to the channel. This is a review of Daredevil Born Again, episode 5 and 6. Surprisingly, it didn't premiere till 8 o'clock tonight, Central Time. And it gave us 2 episodes. Let's do a review of it. Now, if you haven't seen the other episodes, you need to watch them first before you watch this review. Matt goes to the bank to get a loan for his law office. And lo and behold, who's there? But Kamala Khan's father. He even mentions in this episode that his daughter is Miss Marvel. He has like a little pop-up Funko head of her. But amazingly, they say because they keep taking all these clients, they really can't pay them, that the bank is going to turn them down. Then all of a sudden, there's a bank heist, and hostages are taken, and they're in there searching for something we don't know what. But we're going to cover that too. And through a series of events, they forced Kamala Khan's father down into the bank vault to get the bank to open up the vault. There's something in there they're trying to get. At the same time, they got Murdoch as a hostage down the hallway. And while this is going on, he's trying to delay these guys from getting into the vault. And Murdoch beats this guy in the hallway. I mean, he really beats him down big time. He comes back and he rescues Kamala Khan's father. I was really thinking that Kamala Khan was going to show up. I really did, because they kept talking about it. I was thinking, well, maybe she's going to show up in this episode. They open the vault only to find out it's a diamond that they're after. And they get the diamond. But then, just then, the police come in and bum rush the bank and rescue them. But the diamond disappears. And the ones that said that nobody ever found the diamond. Later on, Murdoch returns back to the bank, and he's talking to him about everything that was going on. And Kamala Khan's father says, "Well, we still can't approve you for a loan." And he says, "Well, it doesn't matter. We're still going to do that." He takes a piece of candy out of the bowl and walks out. And then we find out that Murdoch then switched the piece of candy that was in that bowl with the actual diamond. It was a pretty good episode, actually. Had a lot of action in it, too, especially with the bank heist, what was going on. This is just a quick review. But there was a lot of other things that went on. They were testing Murdoch and saying that he was, him being a blind lawyer. That was funny right there, how they were asking him, calling him Stevie Wonder. Now, there's a second part. Surprisingly, they gave us 2 episodes this time. Part 6 is a little bit more about Wilson Fisk. Starts off with a flashback that Murdoch has of Foggy and Foggy's death. And what he's really still eating at him. That Foggy's death is really still affecting him and what he should do with his life. And then White Tiger's daughter, she shows up at his law office, at Murdoch's law office, asking him for help. The White Tiger was investigating something. She wants him to keep going. He keeps saying, "Well, won't you call the police?" She says, "No, I need your help, Murdoch." And he says, "Well, what do you want me to do about it?" And she gets mad and upset. And she says, "You're only really looking out for yourself. But when somebody really needs your help, you turn them down and say no." And her father said, "If you want something done, then do it yourself." And she walks out. Meanwhile, the Muse, he keeps going out and killing. And he's using the blood of his victim to paint these murals. And finally, Fisk gets tired of it. He tries to talk to the cop. And then he gives him a list of people that he wants on his, quote, anti-vigilante force. It's all these cops with questionable backgrounds. He gives them these weapons. He meets them down in the sewer. After that, meanwhile, at the same time, the White Tiger captures, not the White Tiger, Muse captures the White Tiger's daughter. And he kidnaps her. He takes her down there in the subway, and he starts draining her blood like he did these other victims in the earlier episodes. Somehow Daredevil kidnaps him. Then we get not a flashback, but switch over to Wilson Fisk, where he goes to this city function, and all these councilmen are trying to embarrass him and say that they really run this town. If they want something done, they'll have to go through them. And Fisk is just the figurehead, and he's just there. I knew that was going in one direction, where that was going to. And then once Daredevil gets down there to the sewer, and he attempts to start to rescue the White Tiger's daughter, there's a fight that goes on. Now, I don't know who does the choreo. I'm going to have to go on the credits to see who does the choreographs, the fight scenes in Daredevil, because this is one of the most brutal fights I've ever seen. At the same time, they would switch between him and Kingpin, who went back down in the cellar where Adam was, the one that his wife had an affair with. He throws him an axe. I was thinking, wow, he's going to chop this guy up, but he throws him an axe. And then he proceeds to beat this guy into a bloody pulp. I mean, he's throwing him up against a wall, throwing him through the ceiling, and just keeps on pounding on him over and over and over again. And then they would cut to the scene with Daredevil fighting against the Muse, trying to rescue the White Tiger's daughter. Now, this is one of the most, I mean, I don't know how they did this. It was choreographed really good. One person's hand would go up, Daredevil's hand would go up, and then you'll see Fisk's hand come down. This was one of the best fighting scenes since, like, the earlier episodes of Daredevil, like that fight in the hallway. If you've been watching Daredevil, then you know what I'm talking about when it was on Netflix, that fight in the hallway. This rivals that fight scene. I mean, this is one of the most brutal fight scenes I've ever seen. We find out after the fight, and after he rescues the White Tiger's daughter, that the Muse escaped. And then we see Fisk just sit down. And this guy's over here in the corner. He beat him into a bloody pulp. I mean, it's one of the most brutal fight scenes I've ever seen in any show or movie at all. And then it fades to black. Overall, this episode, wow, this two-parter episode, this is, to me, the best two that they've had so far since it's been on Disney+. This is one of the most brutal fight scenes I've ever seen. Like I said, Vincent D'Onofrio continues to me to steal the show from Charlie Cox, but really this time Charlie Cox showed up. He changed it to Daredevil and took care of business. We're going to see what happens next week. This was, to me, were the best two episodes in this series since it switched over to Disney+. Remember, KDS Reviews is seen every Wednesday and every Sunday, and we're going to have highlights throughout the week about the state of Hollywood, or a preview, or we'll talk about Daredevil at the same time. If you like this type of content, then like, subscribe, and share. This is KDS Reviews, and I'll see you in the next video.